just the
Oh, okay.
world or, just everything, but everything seems
Yeah.
to be mellowing out a little bit. Um,
Okay.
and my client that terminated the one contract, I put in a backup offer for another, and they accepted it. So we're under contract and right now I'm not giving him back the 1%. So he kind of took that away. Unless something comes and surprises me, uh, I'm getting the full 3% on that. And
Congratulations.
so that's good.
Yeah.
And then some other buyers kind of came out of the woodwork, and I'm going to show property right after our call.
Okay.
A really beautiful property. So that'll be, we'll see. They've been looking for so long. So
So we could do, if you'd like, for this call, because do you know where I am? Did I tell you
you're in Hawaii,
the
right?
training? Yeah. Let me just share with you really quick. Well, this is my bedroom. I still have to stand up, but look at the view.
Oh,
There's plumeria trees
those
everywhere.
area trees. Oh,
Can
beautiful.
you see that? Do you
Yeah.
see the mountains
Yes. Where are you?
in Kona? Well, the
Oh,
Big Island. So
yeah.
I'm in Pauaku right
Amazing.
now. Yeah. So um, the energy is like so malie, which is calm. And if you'd like, we could do some energy work on our call today to get you in a good, especially with everything that you've been going through, to get you in a good space, to get you with this positive focus and internal representation when you're meeting these clients to get another contract today.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Yeah. Is there anything that you need to finish talking about before we get started?
Well, Megan and I are working really hard on it's very hard for me to it's not that hard to time block. It's very hard to stick with my time block because things change.
Yeah.
Everything changes. So, something as soon as I time block, like with Olivia, I would time block my whole week and it would be like perfect. And I was so proud of myself and it'd be color coded. And then like somebody got COVID and then I had to go to school and then, so it's always something. I mean, I went to make my calls yesterday and I had a 45-minute call with a person, which was a really great call. And it was definitely
Yeah.
necessary and needed to happen. So it's just, again, I think showing up and doing the action steps and looking at, okay, because I do the DTD2 and I look at, okay, I'm on SNU today. So I start looking at my S's and I'm like, who do I need to connect with? And I reach out and connect. And like, I'm not really that, like, some days I can be on a roll and hit 20. And
Hmm.
other days I might have two or three conversations, but they're quality and they're good. And like, for me, I feel like the most important thing, I'm
Hmm.
not like other people where I just need to knock it out all day long. Like, I need to honor my energy and I
Yeah.
need to stay in a place of positivity and joy and inspiration. When I'm in those states of joy and trust and flow and inspiration, then things magically happen. That's just when I manifest. Um,
Okay.
and so trying to like I still haven't finished all the numbers. I started pulling reports. I still can't find 2022 for some reason. I have 2020 and 2021, but had a great meeting with another developer in the area a builder that I work with currently. And he would love to work with me. He said he's interviewing 10 agents because his investors are making him do that. And they had this whole list of questions and their percentages, like how many percentage is this and how much percentage, all these percentages that I don't know. And I'm like, well, this will be great. And I'm excited to talk to him. And I said, I'm going to research this. Just give me some time because I don't, but it'll be fun for me to learn how to figure out these percentages for you. And he really liked talking to me. And, so that could be another good 2 to 4 builds per year, like the current builder I'm working with. I just need to make sure
Hmm.
my current builder is okay with me working with another builder in a similar area and that they don't
Yeah.
feel like there's a conflict of interest there. Um, but he sees the work I'm doing with this one and so wanted to meet with me. So good things, I started listening to my prosperity audiobook again yesterday, and then we found out that they're terminating that first contract that was like, we didn't think we had a shot at all. And we put in a backup anyway, and we got it. So that was super exciting. And then to have
Mm.
others come out and be like, we love this house. And they're so picky. every time they see a house, they're like, we just want to do a drive-by, and then they never like it. So today they're like, we love this, we want to go and see it, and it's 2.4.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's
Yeah.
it's a really good one.
So having that positive mindset and how you're going to see the end result is going to be really important, right? Because we create our own reality, which right? And so if you see it as you're writing the contract, they're going to purchase and buy this home, the likelihood of it happening is pretty high, right? So it's coming into that space and who are you being, right? Um, and yeah, just that little shift whenever you said, yeah, I picked up the prosperity material and started diving into that, and then boom, you know,
Hmm.
you got your guy under contract.
Yeah.
Um, I had a thought. I can't remember what it was. Okay, sorry, I interrupted you, Hannah, but I was like, yeah, that's really cool how you make that little shift in your mindset and things start happening for you.
Yeah. I think it's just like, today I was talking to Damon, my husband, and it's just like we have so much going on with our teenager. It's like it's so stressful. And then with the death of our
Yeah,
kid recently, just like I haven't
yeah,
been sleeping properly, and I'm an 7, 8 hour. I have to sleep, and so I take
yeah,
progesterone. I first started it because my adrenals were on empty, and I needed to bump up. I needed progesterone to start balancing it all out. So,
yeah.
and I know so I bumped it up last night to 200, and I slept hard through the whole night.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
so happy, but this morning it's just like, this is my pattern of like I feel overwhelmed. I feel like there's so many things that need to be done in the house. There's so many things
Hmm.
that need to happen outside. There's so many things that need to happen in the business. There's so many things that need to happen as a mom. And then like our time recently has been just cut off because we're there trying to be parents at the end of the day, sitting there with our kids
Yeah,
arguing. And it's like, so, I feel like that stuff will always be there. Life will always be hectic. And if we can just accept that, like, there will always be a mess. It's fine. There's always going to be a mess, and it's always going to be hectic.
yeah,
And I can still choose to focus on joy and what's working. And
absolutely.
when I'm in that state, I magically manifest things all the time. I just expect that from the universe, and it comes. But as soon as I get into this like down, you know, yeah, oh, this attitude, that's when it just gets harder. And it's like my angels or guides just being like, hey, look what you're doing. This isn't good. Let's pick yourself up.
Yeah, that's it. It's the mindset that you're getting into, which is like the not positive, right? So we know the four requisites of change: release work, setting your goal, taking action, and a positive focus. Ooh, I just remembered your schedule.
Yeah, I
The
want to write down what you just said really quickly though too. Hold on,
Oh,
because
sure. Okay. Yep. The
uh,
four requisites of change.
I was just having a conversation about this, and that's really good. Four requisites of change.
Yep.
Okay.
And they are release work,
Mm-hmm.
setting your goal,
Mm-hmm.
taking action. It's where a lot of people get stuck. They don't take the action, and
Mm-hmm.
positive focus.
Yes. Okay. For sure.
Okay. And so when we look at your schedule, right, and you're sharing with me, oh my gosh, I've got my schedule, I have it all planned out for the week. If we look at, there's a book, Atomic Habits, and there's another one, and I can't remember.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People. No.
Yeah, yeah, right. No, what I want to encourage you to start doing, instead of saying, this is my whole week, it's all planned out, and because we know that things happen. You're a mom, you're also, you have clients that are parents, they may get sick, or kids, or whatever. You want to do it day by day. Okay, what I mean by that is maybe start with planning 2 to 3 days out, right? So let's say, for example, you have a client that's coming into town and they're like, hey, Hannah, I'm coming in, and today's Thursday, Tuesday, coming in Friday, I'd like to look at homes. Cool. So then you put them on your schedule and then you build your schedule around that. Unless you say, I'm only showing homes from this time to that time. So there are several ways that you can work your schedule. One is you've got just kind of like think about like how a dentist office or a surgeon, a doctor who does surgery, right? If we go to our doctor, like our gynecologist, for example, they don't see patients. They don't see us every day of the week because they have certain days that they've got booked for delivery, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they induce some moms and some just by accident, and so, or even a surgeon, a doctor who does surgery, they book
Mm-hmm.
out certain days that they do surgery, and they also book out certain times they do surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at your business as that, right, people will respect it because we respect our doctors' schedules. We
Right.
respect our dentists' schedules when they say we're on lunch break from this time to that time, or we only fill in cavities this time or that time, right? We
Mm-hmm.
work around their schedule. So why not have our clients work around ours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so one way of doing that to get into that and build that as a routine is to start small. So start with building your schedule. Like have an outline, yet look at it the day before. So it's 5 o'clock today. Look at your schedule for tomorrow. What do you have? Okay. Is it realistic? When
Okay.
you're looking at the model that you're following, which one did you choose? From MegaCamp, all the different models. Did you want to implement one of those models? Or are you just happy with what you're doing? And you're like, nope, I like what I'm doing and I'm cool. I make so many calls a day or whatever. If you're not able to accomplish the calls in a day, then in it sounds like, when you're not accomplishing the calls that you want in a day, how does it make you feel?
Well, well, I might have taken care of other things, but I feel let down.
Hmm.
But then I also know that I shifted. Like I chose to have a quality 45-minute conversation on the way to a showing. And I had a showing yesterday. So I didn't, I might have only made a handful of calls
Okay. So that feeling of being let down, where is that coming from?
from me.
Okay. Yet what is triggering that?
Like I want to prove to myself that I can show up and I'm very hard on myself. And yeah, I was a
So
terrible student and I didn't go to college. And so it's like I put extra pressure
me
on
too.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's dig into this because if you're feeling good, you feel Pono that you had a great conversation for 45 minutes, what's causing you from, what's preventing you from feeling that and being satisfied with that? So is it the pressure that you've put on yourself that you've got to accomplish XYZ in order to feel like you've had a successful day?
Yeah. Like I'm
Okay.
like, and to prove, I mean, I'm paying Megan to do a lot of my admin tasks. So today during my calls time, I ended up having to do admin tasks because we had too much stuff on our plate for this morning and she couldn't handle, like it was too much for her to handle in the time frame that she has. So I handled some of it. But then when I had a few minutes before our call, I could have made some calls. I was like, oh shoot. I mean, I'm going to meet clients and I realized my nails were like half chipped off. And I'm like, I have to fix my nails. Oh my God, I have to fix my nails before I see them. So I
Oh
had
my gosh.
one
Okay.
conversation, just something always comes up. So
Okay.
later I will sit and reach out to people and try to get caught up. But I think if I can make my goals a little less, like 20 of them is a lot. Like what I have two best friends that are great title reps in California. And they have a really good method of hitting 20. And it's like, make 5 comments on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, do 5 text
Mhm.
messages, 5 emails, and 5 calls. There you go. Or, I'm like, oh.
Okay.
So when you're
So
chopping it down in 5, it seems more doable than like, oh, let me look through my whole list and find 20 people. you know?
That was going to be my next question is, so if your goal, what you're saying is you want 20, what is a number that you're like, I feel good with this? This is a number. Because if what's more important, you having 5 meaningful conversations where you're like, you don't feel rushed, or why not looking at your sphere of influence and saying, this person that I spent 45 minutes with is in my top 50. So I know I'm going to have a conversation that's going to last at least 30 minutes with this person. So you have one day where you call your top VIP clients, and then you have another day where you call the people that maybe it's more of a 6-minute call, right? So because we gotta start somewhere, because there may be some people that you don't have that connection with, and it's more of just a, hey, just checking in, want to see how things are going, awesome, we're doing a client event or whatever it is. So think about it as, instead of being so planned out in advance, start with 2 to 3 days, right? Have a good idea. Tomorrow, this is my schedule. Okay, cool. I don't have any appointments, so I can do my 10 calls to people that maybe are not in your top. What days are going to be your top VIP that you call? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're scheduling your appointments, if you are, because there are some clients that they don't want to do it on a certain time in the day, right? But there's going to be a point, Hannah, when you're so busy that your schedule's going to be, it's going to look like that, where you need it very structured. And you're like, on this day, I'm only showing houses between this time and that time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would just really encourage you to look at it as doing it day by day, planning 2 to 3 days in advance. So that way, if you have to shift something, it's a success for you. It's not a, oh, I didn't get it accomplished. Now let's talk about your leverage. What is it, and why do you believe that you had to take something on that Megan, you know, take on some of Megan's stuff? What happened?
Well, just a lot of things kind of happened last night that came down to needing like urgent matters for this morning that we needed to handle first thing this morning. And so,
Okay.
and I wanted to, like, before this listing went live again, I actually did want to get eyes on it and
Uh-huh.
make sure, and I needed to do that because I recognized if I would have had her make it live, certain things wouldn't have gone well. I needed to change
Okay.
the wording. And so that's just the main thing that I did. And then I sent,
Okay.
another thing was I didn't need to do. I just did a Hannah do it. So when I was little, I was like, I had to do everything on my own. And I called it Hannah do it, Hannah do it, Hannah do it. And my dad actually gave me a shirt that said Hannah do it. And
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh,
a
that's
funny
funny.
joke now. It's like, Hannah, stop being a Hannah do it. And I know like her role as transaction coordinator is well, she's my admin, but she's taking on transaction coordinator now for when we have deals. And and so there was an amendment that got signed, and it's her job to see that amendment and send it to the agent to have them sign it. So instead, I just did a Hannah do it, and I just had to do it. I had to see it in the, I could just handle this real quickly while Megan's taking care of the other stuff because I wanted it to her now, So it's that, like, Olivia would work with me on that too. I get into that urgency addiction category of like, this is important. What's important and urgent, and what is not important.
So what is that from? What is that? So when you start getting into that, oh, I need to do it because I want it done right now. What is that? What's the worst thing that could happen?
She gets it in an hour.
Okay.
There's no bad thing, nothing bad.
Okay. And so what is
The
driving?
procrastination. I'm a Hannah do it, and I was always called a procrastinator. So I see that. I have such ADD, I feel like, that I'm like, if it's like taking me away from getting started on a different project, it's sometimes fun for me to just
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
What
just
is that? There's a root cause, there's a behavior, there's an emotion at the bottom of this. And what is that emotion? When you have to control it, what are you so you said the worst thing that could happen is she gets it in an hour, but what's that emotion that's fueling that thought?
Hmm.
And you've been on my release work before in the book club. So there's the 5 emotions that we talk about: anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. So of those 5, what is it that you resonates the most with you? Like, what are you in blank of if someone else does it?
Um,
Because there's a reason why you do it, and it's not just controlling, right?
what was it? Anger, sadness, fear, guilt, and what?
Hurt and guilt.
And hurt. Let's see. I don't know. I think today it was a little bit of guilt. I think Megan, I think she, I think it was a little bit of guilt, or maybe, I
Maybe
asked her to do a lot of things and she seemed like she was
okay,
not in a good mindset today, feeling she's really hard on herself. And
okay.
I think I just thought it would be easier if I just handled it and took care of it.
So, and you are like, especially with your background in yoga and everything, we project what's inside of ourselves onto others, right?
Yeah.
It's called the shadow. So, what at that moment, and this is a learning so that you can go, whoa, what are
Yeah.
you projecting onto her?
Maybe my own feeling of overwhelm.
Hmm.
I think we kind of feed off of each other. Um,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Did you stop and ask her, hey, how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling an overwhelm? Would this be helpful? Or did you just assume,
no,
oh,
I
this
just
is how she's
assumed.
feeling?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just assumed today we were just trying to get through it so we could get to the stuff we had to do. And it was our
Yeah.
first, I had SRS all day Monday and Tuesday. So I was only
Hmm.
calling her quickly. So our meetings were, very scattered. And then, yeah, I just have had her do a lot of things. And then she gets down on herself. And I felt like I did such a good job. When we had our 1 year anniversary, I was really proud of myself. I told Damon about it because she was talking about how hard she feels on her, how hard she gets on herself, and I was able to
Yeah.
reflect back to her what I see in her, like something else that she uses about, feeling beautiful in front of her kids, and how she'll never talk, like she doesn't always have to have makeup on, and she doesn't ever talk down about her weight or anything like that
Yeah.
in front of her girls. And I said, as just reflecting back to you, this is how you can show up in anything that you do. You do such a good job in everything that you do. And so I reflect
Yeah.
back on her too. It's like I try so hard in everything that I do, but I'm the first one to beat myself up.
Yeah.
And just to have that loving kindness towards herself. And I was like, make sure to get up extra early and have your meditation
Hmm.
time, and like carve this time out for yourself. And she was so grateful. Like for a week, she was great. When we talk about every day, what are you grateful for? What is your win? And what is your learn? And
Yeah.
every day she was grateful for that. And
Yeah.
so this week has been rushed, and I didn't sleep. And then yesterday, I never get annoyed with her, but I was a little annoyed because she just decided to not have our meeting and go run an errand for the team. And I was like, well, she just texted me, well, I'm not going to be on the meeting right away because I'm going to go to Office Depot and pick our stuff up. And I had no sleep. I'd been up since 3 a.m. And so I didn't want to come off super bitchy like I knew I was about to. So I'm like, listen, I got your text, and I just want to say, first off, I love you so much. You're like my favorite person outside of my family. I love you so much. I said, I'm a little bit frustrated that instead of asking, if you could leave after the meeting, like we had this planned, and I'm trying so hard to work on our schedule. We haven't gotten to meet for 2 days. And so you just are telling me this, and now it's going to throw my whole rest of my morning off because I hadn't showered yet. I was waiting to have this meeting first and then do all these things. So
Yeah.
but she felt just super, I mean, she just felt so bad, you know.
Well, but you know what? You communicated in the right way, because that's the right way to communicate what happened, how it made you feel, not doing a victim, but frustrated, angry, you know, her guilt, like an emotion, not a victimized, like I felt abandoned. No. And then what you wanted the end result to be, right? So then now it's creating boundaries. So saying, you know, this isn't, this does not, you know, this isn't going to happen again. Next time, check with me first, because this was really important,
Mhm.
right? So you handled it really well. And so just a couple of things to work on. When you start to feel that guilt, now you're consciously aware of what it is you're doing. Stop and ask yourself, what am I projecting onto her?
Mhm.
Because it's her job to do, you're paying her to do these tasks, right? So just ask yourself, well, what am I projecting? What do I need to work on? Right? And then write on it, journal on it. Why are you? And when was a time in your life that this was created? Because see, there's a root cause to this, and we'll do some release work on it on our next call, because this
Mhm.
is something pretty powerful. When we can work on this and release where this was installed, this behavior, this pattern, it'll stop. The first step is being consciously aware of it, taking it from the unconscious and bringing it into the light, the consciousness. So when you find yourself doing that, stop and ask yourself, well, wait a minute, this isn't my job. You've got five things you should be doing:
Mhm.
lead generating, going on appointments, negotiating offers, closing, and all over, like,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
Stop and ask yourself, what am I doing? Okay. And then before your appointment today, take a couple of deep breaths, vision yourself as writing a contract, an offer, positive focus. Okay,
Okay.
awesome.
Thank you.
You got it, Miss Hannah. I'll see you soon. Let me know how it goes today, okay?
All right. And just soak up that Hawaii for me. Send some
Ah, I will. I'll send
my
you some
way.
aloha.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
See you soon.